Coming up tonight on the news at 5, Congress avoided a government shutdown just before the deadline. What comes next? Then the Department of Education is the next department the Trump administration is making cuts to, what advocates and protesters are saying. And there was an adoption event for all types of pigs this weekend. We'll take you to it later in the show.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Thank you for joining us on the news at 5. President Donald Trump signed the government funding bill into law on Saturday. According to a post on X from White House spokesperson Harrison Fields, the president signed the bill, and he also thanked Democrats who joined Republicans to approve the continuing measure. The bill will allow 6 months of funding and avert a government shutdown. President Trump's signature comes after the Senate passed the bill on Friday, just hours ahead of a midnight deadline. Earlier this week, the bill cleared the House on a party line, and then Senate lawmakers voted to pass the measure 54-46, with 2 Democrats joining all but 1 Republican in support of the measure. And educators are voicing concerns about the White House's decision to make cuts to the Department of Education. The Trump administration has already cut half of the more than 4,000 employees at the Department of Education. President Trump says America's declining education results and rising cost per student as reasons to shut down the department and give the right of education back to the states.
We want education to be moved back where the states run education, where the parents of the children will be running education, where governors that are doing a very good job will be running education.
In response to this week's cut of 1,300 workers, advocates went to D.C. to support the fired workers, one saying that the decision to cut the department will impact every public school student.
It's going to impact all of our students. When you cut one area, it's got to come from somewhere, and so they'll take from other areas, and it will be dysfunctional for the whole system.
Dr. Oz, President Donald Trump's pick to lead the agency in charge of government-run health insurance programs on Friday, declined to commit to opposing future cuts to Medicaid when directly asked if he would do so. Instead, the nominee for administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services said that the way to protect Medicaid is making sure that it's viable at every level. The exchange during Oz's Senate confirmation hearing raised questions about the fate of Medicaid under the current administration, despite the president's promises to preserve it and other federal safety net programs. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office said last week that House Republicans' current budget cannot meet its spending cut goals without significantly cutting Medicare or Medicaid coverage. And now switching gears, let's head over to the Weather Center for a first look at the forecast with Christina Campbell.
And Adobe, we have some light, fluffy snow falling as we speak. But as we look at our weather map, for the most part, most of the state is looking pretty good out there. But that band of showers is moving right through the Anchorage Bowl area and up through the Mat-Su Valley. So light accumulations are expected tonight into tomorrow. The western part of the Kenai Peninsula also looking at some light snow showers in the forecast. Right now, temperatures into the upper 20s, some above freezing. Wasilla currently at 35 degrees, Palmer at 36. But we still have some areas where we have clearing. In the interior, it's a different story. Temperatures slightly cooler into the teens and lower 20s, 21 right now in Fairbanks. It's 16 in Nenana and Tanana coming in at 15 degrees. Clear to the north, not the case on the southern coastline where we're going to continue to see very light snow showers. But as we look ahead, for the most part, these are very light snow showers. Not a whole lot expected until Monday night, where there you see another surge of energy moving in. In the meantime, 27 for the high tomorrow, light snow, more clearing in Fairbanks and Juneau. Juneau looking at a high of 31 into the teens for Fairbanks and single digits for Bethel. I'll have more on your forecast and talk about a cooler temperatures, then a warm up coming up later on.
Thank you, Christina. I was so excited to see that snow today. And on another note, an outbreak of deadly tornadoes tore through the Midwest and South Friday. Multiple people were killed in Missouri and Arkansas overnight. Many of these communities are now bracing for a second round of severe storms. Jen Sullivan has details on the damage and the storm threat that looms tonight.
Oh my God! Terrifying moments for two people in Rolla, Missouri, as a tornado surrounds their car, violently shaking it. This powerful storm system spawning at least 25 tornadoes across the Midwest and South overnight. At least 11 people were killed in Missouri.
Trees, just the amount of debris, number of overturned tractor trailers, cars pushed around.
One of the hardest hit areas was in Butler County, Missouri.
This was widespread in the different areas it hit, but the one mobile home park was the most casualties and people are injured.
Multiple homes and businesses damaged or destroyed in Villa Ridge, Missouri, about 40 miles southwest of St. Louis. Toppled trees covering homes and cars. Emergency crews saying it's been hard to rescue residents with all the debris blocking the roads.
There's multiple power lines down, and it's still a very dangerous situation.
Tornadoes carving out paths of destruction in Arkansas, where at least 3 people were killed as a result of the severe weather. In Stillwater, Oklahoma, fierce winds fueling these brush fires. State emergency management officials say they battled more than 130 wildfires across 44 counties Friday. The governor declaring a state of emergency in 12 counties.
The damage is unbelievable.
As the cleanup begins for these communities, many are still under the threat for another round of severe weather. The National Weather Service issuing a level 5 out of 5 warning for severe thunderstorms for portions of Mississippi and Alabama. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.